Hey guys, if you're new here and you like what I'm putting out, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you never miss an upload. Hey, what's going on guys? Ash here, and I decided to make a couple of videos talking about the different Super Sentai shows I've been watching recently, because recently I've been on a big binge watching Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, and I've been loving it. I've binged several shows: Megaranger, Car Ranger, Die Ranger, Ginga Man. I'm currently watching Kamen Rider Gaim. I've been loving it. Not only that, I've been checking out the Kamen Rider series Toei has been putting on their YouTube channel, and I'll definitely be having more videos on the series I've been watching of what they've been putting out. But in today's video, I want to talk about Megaranger. Now, Megaranger is the Sentai they use for Power Rangers in space, and there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Megaranger, because oh boy, is there a lot to talk about when it comes to Megaranger, such as the differences, the plot of the TV show, and stuff like that. It is crazy, so let's talk about it. So, Megaranger, if you didn't know, was the Sentai footage they used for Power Rangers in space, and I love Power Rangers in space. I will scream on the mountains how much I love that series. I love it to death. I grew up watching it, I rewatched it recently, and I still love it. But watching the Sentai version, it's like day and night with the differences between the series, because Megaranger is known as the video game series, while in Power Rangers in Space they turned it into a totally different show for the American audience, which is really cool. I do like that aspect they did with Power Rangers in Space, but Megaranger is freaking crazy with the stuff they adapted in the series. Now, I'm probably going to talk about this arc by arc from what I can find on the wiki, like the multi-parters and the story arcs, but there's a lot I want to talk. There is a lot I want to talk about when it comes to Megaranger, because this series was really wacky. Now, a lot of people call this Sentai the video game Sentai, which I can understand why they call it, because it does have aspects that are very video game-like, and it also has aspects that is very space-like, but it's a little bit in between when it comes to both of those themes, because you later find out in Megaranger, this will contain spoilers by the way if you're this far into the video, that Megaranger, or the combat arcade game they use for Megaranger, is actually a combat simulator to recruit people to fight the alien dimension invasion, the Nejira, which I'll get to the Nejira in a bit, because they are some interesting characters, especially the main dude, the main villain in Nejira. He is something. So, the whole combat simulator in Megaranger, that is kind of like reminiscent of Last Starfire, that movie, where it was an arcade game made to recruit people to fight off an alien invasion and stuff like that, which is a really old movie. I'm not sure if everyone's going to remember that, but that's the vibes I got when they mentioned that in Megaranger. So I do wonder if the writers for Megaranger drew inspiration from that, because that is a wacky coincidence they do in this show. Speaking of wacky coincidences, let's talk about our main hero, Kenta, the Red Ranger, because Kenta is a lot different from Andros we got in Power Rangers in Space, where Andros was a loner, he didn't really talk to much people, he did things on his own. Kenta is a complete 180. He's a goofball, he's a lovable goofball who loves to eat, he's wacky, he can get serious sometimes, but Kenta has always got this goofy face, he's making goofy faces and stuff like that. I love him, but you also get to see the arc that Kenta goes through throughout the series. Now, the other Rangers I do enjoy as well. I enjoy Black, because Black is considered the actual leader of Megaranger, because he actually takes charge, he gets shit done. And then Blue is the Blue Ranger, which Blue goes through a very interesting arc in here as well, where he falls in love with this android and then he just wails on one of the characters, which I'll get to as well in a bit. So Blue's good. Pink and Yellow, they're the girls. They're just the girls. I mean, they do have some fun moments, some Monster of the Day episodes here and there, but one's a photographer, one's a cute little girl that likes to eat and do all kinds of fun stuff. Like, they're just the girls. They do have fun moments here and there, but they go through some character development here and there, but not as much as like Red or Black or Blue and stuff like that. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's what I remember them in Megaranger. They do have some fun moments like the crepe monster and the canary monster that switches voices with the Yellow Ranger. Those episodes were a lot of fun, but yeah, that's all I got to say. But if there's one Ranger, one Mega Ranger that was the alpha, the show stealer, and probably the best one out of all of them, that is MegaSilver. This guy's introduction puts Zane's introduction to shame. Now, Zane had a really good story going for him, but this guy is freaking alpha with how he shows up. His introduction is scary. You don't know if he's a hero or a villain because he's stalking the heroes. And then when he shows up, he kicks so much ass. Now, they probably use the same footage for Power Rangers in Space, but this guy, when he shows up, is such an ass kicker, and I just love it. I love it. Now, his plotline trying to figure out why he can't morph for so long is kind of like Power Rangers in Space. Well, they're the exact same storylines, so they gotta figure it out, but they do figure it out. A lot different outcomes here and there, but this guy was like the best character with what he does, like what he does in the background and stuff like that, like how he invented the Mega Voyager and the Mega Winger, which I love that reveal because I believe it's the same episode after you get the Mega Voyager where you learn that he's learning on the Mega Winger, and the closing episode is like, hey, have you been working on anything else that we don't know about? And he's like, no, and he whistles and walks away, and then you get this transition to the Mega Winger in the hangar bay, which you don't see the Mega Winger for 2 more episodes after that. 2 or 3 more episodes after that, you don't see the Mega Winger. So I love MegaSilver and his introduction, and that character overall. He was really freaking awesome. Now let's talk about the villains, because the villains, oh my god, these guys made me cry when I got to the end of the series. Like, their final moments made me weep tears. It was so bad, and I'm admitting that. Like, I cried, I got emotional hearing their backstories, learning about their stories in the series. So we've got Dr. Helena, and Dr. Helena is this mysterious guy that you kind of learn about in the series because he worked with the mentor professor that the Mega Rangers hang out with, and the professor, the good professor, had a co-worker that disappeared, and everyone thought, like, he thought he was dead for the longest time because he went crazy with power. He wanted to discover the Nejiro dimension and stuff like that. He gets sucked in, and he's presumed dead for the longest time, but really, he's been this crazy ruler of the kingdom, and Dr. Helena is just freaking crazy. Like, this guy, this actor's charisma and his presence on screen is amazing, because it's not a guy in a rubber suit, it's a human actor, like a human actor, and I love it when Sentai or Kamen Rider uses human actors, because you can see the emotion and the expression on the character's face as they speak and as they emote in their body language and stuff like that. You don't get that with characters in suits here and there. But he's basically planning to be the ruler of the dimension, because you've got the Electro King Jarbos, and Jarbos is the Dark Spectre. He's basically the Dark Spectre. He rules over everyone, but Dr. Helena's plan is the same plan that Astromina had in the Power Rangers in Space, where the Psycho Rangers fighting will drain the true leader of the bad guys' power, but their plan is to actually kill him. So when the, not the Psycho Rangers, the Neji Rangers bite the dust, this guy bites the dust at the end of that arc as well, and gets blown up and killed, leaving Dr. Helena's plan to take over that dimension so he can rule over it. So Dr. Helena had an endgame plan in here. So who else should I talk about? How do I pronounce this guy? Gurel? He was Dark Honda in Power Rangers in Space, and this guy's introduction is so fucking messed up. I love it. So the episode starts off with this guy's introduction, with the bad guys invading, there's people panicking and stuff like that, and the Mega Rangers go to save the day. But what this guy does, Gurel, if I'm pronouncing it correctly or not, he uses a kid as a hostage, so when Kenta jumps in, he punches the kid in the face to shield himself. He uses a human child as a shield, and that sets up what a scumbag this character is in the show. And I just love that, because Dark Honda, he was the person that kidnapped Astromina. He was the person that took her the Dark Spectre and stuff like that. This motherfucker in the Sentai uses a kid as a human shield. It is so badass. It's so fucked up. I love it. Like, it introduces, like, you to hate this character right away. And he does bite the dust eventually with his same way in the Sentai or Power Rangers in Space. I can't remember how he died in Power Rangers in Space, but the bad guys basically betray him because they know that this guy's a problem. He's getting out of hand. So they give him the super pill or whatever it is, and he goes crazy and he eventually gets blown up. But if there's one character I want to talk about, that is Ugande and Shibolena. Now, Ugande is the suit for Eclipta in Power Rangers in Space, and he was really cool in the show. He had some really good moments, Ugande. Most of it was footage I've seen from Power Rangers in Space. Most of it was footage I haven't seen from Power Rangers in Space, but it's the character's final moments in the show that I really loved, because the final battle is so emotional in Megaranger, because the Mega Rangers get outed, their secret identities get revealed, so they're kicked out of high school, and they're unable to graduate, because the whole bit of Mega Ranger is them graduating and becoming adults, and that's the journey that these characters go on throughout the series. It's not like Power Rangers where, like, we're in high school, we're in wacky adventures. Well, it kind of is the same here, but the thing with Mega Ranger, these characters go from childhood to adulthood as they become soldiers and get stronger and stuff like that. That's the best way to explain it. Like, they go on the journey, like their own journey. So, back to the bad guys. I'll talk about the graduation thing at the end. Back to the bad guys. The death of Shibolena in Megaranger made me cry. So, in the final battle, you've got things going crazy, and Kenta looks like he's about to kill a weakened Ugande. He's gonna suffer the final blow. But what Shibolena does, she jumps in front of Mega Red or Kenta and gets messed up. She gets messed up. And then Ugande, in no condition to fight, charges at Mega Red and he gets killed. So then Shibolena goes back to Dr. Helena. She's wounded, she's sparking, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, why she's sparking, what's going on with this character. She's smoking, and she's not going to survive. She doesn't have much time left, so she decides to spend her final moments with frickin' Dr. Helena, which is a touching moment, to be honest. She wants to spend her final moments with Dr. Helena because she calls him father. And then she blows up, and you figure out she was an android the whole time. But what's even more crazier is you find out that Dr. Helena made Shibolena based on her daughter that he lost, because he tried to save her daughter and the experiment went wrong. So Dr. Helena was like outcasted in society for what he did, and that's why he kind of went crazy and stuff like that. Like, you learn the character's motives and his motivation, but in the final battle that Dr. Helena is having with the Mega Rangers, saying, hey, society's going to treat you just the same. Now that they know you're the Mega Rangers, they're going to treat you like outcasts. So why don't you join me? Because nothing's ever going to go good for you guys. Just join me and stuff like that. But Dr. Helena's destroyed, is blown up. But like I said earlier, you feel for the bad guys because how human most of them are, or how human faces most of them have, so you really feel for these bad guys. So at the end of the series, Dr. Helena is destroyed and the Mega Rangers graduate, which is really nice. Now, you do get a fake out thinking they're dead, but then they come in on their Galaxy Gliders or their Mega Gliders, whatever you want to call it, and then they get to graduate. So that's a really nice turnaround that we have for Mega Ranger in the series, where the characters graduate and they grow up eventually. And you do see them in like future stuff, like in the Ginga Man movie where some of them are in college. I think Kenta becomes a teacher in Gokaiger, if I remember correctly. I think that's what happens. It's been a while since I watched Gokaiger here and there, but Mega Ranger was quite the journey to go on with these characters, and I didn't know what to expect going into Mega Ranger because I'm such a hardcore Power Rangers in Space guy, but I loved Mega Ranger from start to finish, and the journey was really crazy. And once you got to the end of the journey, of Megaranger. You feel really satisfied because you grew with these characters, you went on the same journey with these characters, so seeing them graduate is something, and I really do like that. I really enjoyed that in the show. But anyway guys, I feel like I've talked about Megaranger for long enough. I didn't really talk about the Neji Rangers much because the Neji Rangers are cool and the Psycho Rangers are cool in their own right, but most of their plot lines were kind of the same here and there with how they defeat the monster in some situations. Some things were different, stuff like that, but overall, I really enjoyed Megaranger, and I think you guys should check it out for yourself. If you want to watch Megaranger, it's on Shout Factory's website. Go to shouttv/Megaranger. I'll have a link in the description down below if you want to check it out for yourself. I'll also have a link for you in the description if you want to get the DVDs on Amazon for yourself. But with that said, I'm going to wrap this video up now. If you made it this far into the video, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to all the members such as Swagger4. If you want to get your name shout out at the end of a video like Swagger4 over here, become a Zord tier member or higher. With that said, I'm going to wrap this video up now. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day or night, and peace out. Bye.